everybody, my name is Kyle39. Welcome back to another video. Today in this one it's going to be another deck profile video, and in this one it's going to be my deck profile on Maliss. Not only is it going to be a deck profile video, but we also have some combos at the end to show you as well. But this is also going to be a discussion video as well, because there's a lot of things you can do with this deck, and I kind of want to discuss all the routes we can take with this deck. So not only is it going to be like a deck profile video, it's going to be like a discussion video on the deck as well, just because there's multiple routes you can do. Now, I did want to upload this a little bit earlier, but I decided to get sick over the weekend, and the sickness ended up fucking up my voice. Hella, as you can somewhat hear, I'm still somewhat recovering, so I probably shouldn't be making this video, but I promised myself I'd get this out by Monday, so I'm going to do this right now. So if my voice ends up like being starts squeaking or anything like that, that's probably why, is because I'm still somewhat recovering from that. But without further ado though, let's actually get into the deck profile. So starting off with the main deck, obviously, let me just quickly move this over here. Alright, so with the deck profile, we're going to be starting off with engine cards first, and then we'll move into like side engines, not necessarily engine cards, but like goes well with engine as well. Those are kind of side engines, and then obviously your non-engine that you can be playing as well. This is more the hand traps and stuff like that. So without further ado, let's get into the deck profile. So we'll start off with obviously the Maliss engine. We're three Dormouse, 3 White Rabbit, and then the 1 Chessy Cat. So this is kind of your main engine stuff that you're playing for monster wise. Obviously Dormouse is the best one, because this lets you just banish a Maliss monster, which it lets you go into combo, which is really good, which I really like. So you really want to play 3 of this. Same thing with White Rabbit. White Rabbit, when it's normal or special summon, you can set a Maliss trap card, which is really good. It makes you where you can still combo with just White Rabbit, which is cool as fuck. But so that's why we're still playing 3, because this is technically a 1-card combo. And then we're playing the 1 Chessy Cat, which this is it banishes a Maliss monster to, or banishes a Maliss card to draw 2 cards. Now necessarily this could be a combo if you pair it with one of these guys, which is really cool. But if you don't pair it with one of these guys, then obviously this isn't a combo. Now a lot of people might be playing like 3-3-3. I'm only playing the 1 because necessarily you do not want to draw a Chessy Cat. Every time I played this deck, I was in a weird position where when I drew Chessy Cat, I was like, if they negated this, I was in a rough spot. I had to draw an extender or something like that. This gives a lot of hand knowledge, because not only if they negate this, they know you have a Maliss card in hand, and you have to have an extender in your hand. So this is where you're in a rough spot. This is not a card I like to normal summon. Now, it's still pretty good. You still want to play this. I can see an argument for maybe playing 2, because sometimes when you do draw the Chessy Cat, you want to have the second one in deck just to like do some combos. But I think 3 is just overall really bad. I don't think 3 is the wave. I think if you want to play 2, I can see the argument for 2. But I'm playing 1 just because I necessarily do not want to see this card in my opening hand. So I'm just playing the 1. But I can see the argument for 2, just having more names in the deck and stuff like that. But I think 3 is just a little too much. So this is it for the Maliss monsters that I'm playing. And then the other 2 monsters that I think is kind of like mandatory that you just cannot cut is Codosol and Dotscaper as well. These are just kind of important to the combo. Dotscaper is obviously for the Red Ransom play, where you can banish this off the Red Ransom and then just get more bodies onto the field. Really good card as well. You don't necessarily want to draw this card. It's not in the worst position, but I don't really want to draw the Dotscaper. But Codosol is really good. Not only is it an extender for the deck, but it's also Graveyard Effect is insane, where you can link summon a link 3 or higher Cybers monster on your opponent's turn is insane. And you have something like Terahertz in the extra deck to dump this into the graveyard. So this is really good. Honestly, I've thought about playing more of this just so I have extension plays in the deck, but we'll talk about that more once we get into extenders. So those are kind of the cards I think you have to play, non-negotiable cards. Obviously, Chessy Cat, I think you can maybe put to 2, or I think 3 is a little too much, but you can put up to 2. Now onto the spells. I think it's kind of mandatory for the engine. I think Maliss in the Underground is really good. Obviously, you want to play 3 of this. This is on activation, can banish a Maliss monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard, which is really good, to be honest with you. It helps you play around things like Nibiru. If you end up searching it off a Red Ransom, it's a starter. Technically, just being able to banish Dormouse and go full combo from there is really good. Yeah, you want to play this card for sure. They have other effects, like if you have 3 trap cards, Maliss trap cards banish your Maliss Link monsters, gain 3,000 attack, and then your opponent can only attack into Maliss Link monsters while this is on the field as well. Those are like situational, doesn't really come up that much, but Obviously, we're just using it for the top effect, which is really, really good. I think you have to be playing Terraforming with it because it's really, really good. You don't really care about Droll in this deck anyway, so being able to go Terraforming into Maliss in the Underground is just another starter for the deck. Same thing with Goal. Oh my god, I dropped my... Okay, try not to do that again. I dropped my camera there, but Goldsark, another just starter for the deck, which is really, really good. I think you do need to be playing Goldsark for sure, because, again, just another starter for the deck. You're like the Banishing Malice guys. Even like banishing a Dotscaper just to get more extension plays as well isn't terrible for this. Another engine card I'm technically playing as well is 3 Signet Mining. This is negotiable. You don't necessarily need to be playing Signet Mining in the deck. A lot of people might be playing Allure or Darkness in the spot, but the reason why I'm not playing Allure is because it dies to Lancia. The problem with the deck, and you'll figure out quickly when you play this deck, is fucking Lancia is a goddamn problem. So I decided to not play Allure for that reason. Even though Allure in game 1s are fucking wild, I think the Signet Minings are just a little bit better. Because a lot of the times in game 2s and game 3s when I was playing Allure, I would just side out of Allure just because I'm like, okay, I don't want to die to Lancia, so I'm just going to side out of Allure Darkness. It says, I decided to play Signet Mining instead, just because, again, this can search anything in the deck. It can search an extender if you want to, if you play more extenders, which, again, we'll get to in just 1 second. Or it can just search an engine piece, which is really nice as well. Maybe 3 is a little overboard. I can see some people playing 2, but I'm playing a 42-card deck, so I think playing 3 Signet Mining is perfectly fine. So that is it for the spells. Engine spells, I think, is kind of, again, the only negotiable one is maybe Signet Mining for something like Allure or Darkness. But that's pretty much it. Now for the Malice Trap cards, we're playing one of each, TB11, GCW06, and the MTB07. Really, really good cards. Honestly, you don't even mind drawing them. This is the only one you don't want to draw. You kind of don't mind if you draw these because they'll let you play around hand traps. This is the only one you don't want to draw just because it's not technically live immediately. But if you can get it live, then it's actually not that bad. But really, really good cards, I say. TB11, being able to special summon from the deck is really insane. It helps you with your turn 1 combo. GCW06 is what you're trying to end on turn 1. This lets you play on your opponent's turn. So we really want this card. And then this card is insane. It lets you search a Malice. And if you have a Malice Link monster, banish a card on the field as well. Just an interruption on your opponent's turn as well. Really, really good cards. I don't think you need to be playing more than just the one. The ones are perfectly fine to play. And again, non-negotiable. You kind of have to play these trap cards for sure. Now on to the side engine pieces. So these are engine pieces that you could be playing with the deck. So these are like extenders or other things. You'll see what I'm talking about in just 1 second. So the thing I'm going for is the Sky Striker stuff. So I'm playing the Sky Striker. So I'm playing the 3 Engage. I'm playing 2 Widow Anchor and the 1 Hornet Drones. So this is kind of your side engine. This can also be the Castria stuff. You really want to play something like Castria with like the Birth and Unicorns and stuff like that. This can also just be like extenders like Parallel Exceed or like a Cyberus Wicked, or not Cyberus Wicked, Backup Secretary. Like just random extenders that Cybers have. They have a shit ton. If you just want to play like more extenders, you can play it in these spots. But I like the Sky Striker stuff because in the Rizal matchup, Widow Anchor goes really, really hard against the Sky Strike or the Rizal matchup. So that's why I kind of like this. This is the extender I'm preferring to playing. The Engage into Hornet Drones is really, really good. Also, if you have 3 spell cards, Engage being able to draw a card is really, really good as well. But again, this can be anything you want. You can be the Castria stuff. This can be like just more extenders like the Parallel Exceeds and stuff like that. But I do like the Sky Striker stuff a lot. A lot of people might be playing like 3-1-1. I'm playing the 2 just because, again, this is more built towards Rizal, try to beat Rizal, so the Widow Anchors kind of help in that matchup as well. But obviously in the mirror match, this card sucks. You do not want to play Widow Anchor in the mirror match. So that's kind of the side engine I'm playing as well. And then the also other technical side engine I'm playing as well are the Bestials. These are 1 Magna, 1 Druis, and 1 Baldrake. So these are technical extenders for the deck because, again, you don't mind banishing the Malice cards because they just come back. So you go Bestial, banish a guy, it specials itself back. Now you just have a free extender. These are technical hand traps against something like a Fiendsmith deck as well, or something like a plugin targeting like a detonator. You can go just Magna, get rid of it, and make sure it doesn't come back, which is really, really, really good. If you really want to play like heavy Bestial as well, I've seen some people play like the Bestial Rebellions and play like a heavier Bestial package with something like Regain. I honestly don't mind that either. I really do like that. a lot. So I wouldn't disagree with you on that one either. But I'm just playing the 3 Bystials. I think the 3 Bystials are kind of mandatory. Maybe you cut Baldrake for like a second Druid Swarm. I've seen some people do that. I'm fine with that. If you want to play like a heavier Bystial package by playing the Lubellions and the Regained, I'm also for that as well. Just being able to search more extenders. But the problem with that is that plays more into Lancia, which is what I kind of hate trying to play around in game 2, in game 3. So again, these are technical hand traps as well, so really, really good for the deck. So now, that is it for like engine. Now let's get into non-engine that I'm playing. So I am playing 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Let me just get them all out before I talk about it. 3 Forbidden Droplet, 1 Triple Tactic Talents, 3 Dominus Impulse, and obviously the last 3 being 3 Infinite Impermanences. So, these is my non-engine for this format. Technically, I'm playing the Bystials and the Widow Anchor, so I have more stuff as well, but this is the non-engine that I'm technically playing for the deck. So, Ash Blossom, I think, is a mandatory in this format, and that's surprising because I'm one of those people that fucking hate Ash Blossom. I was not playing this over the summer, like during Nat's format and stuff like that, just because I didn't think Ash wasn't that great. But I think now it's a non-negotiable place. You do have to play Ash because it stops the Molchummies. It also stops something like a Duo Drive, being able to Ash Duo Drive. Ryzel pretty much has no way to play around ashing a Duo Drive, so that's pretty insane as well. Even against like the mirror match, being able to ash like a White Binder trying to come back, or being able to ash the TB11 specialing from deck, or even ashing the other one, I forgot what it's called, the one that can search a mouse then banish a card on field if you have a Maliss Link monster. Being able to ash that is very insane as well. So I like Ash a lot. We'll come back to Droplet. Dominus Impulse, a little weird. This deck doesn't really care, but this card isn't the greatest right now just because against Ryzel, this doesn't really do anything except for maybe the exception of plugin, or if they're playing the Fiendsmith stuff, obviously this can hit the Fiendsmith stuff. But against every other matchup, I think this thing's insane, especially in the mirror match. I think Impulse goes in very, very hard. So I think Impulse is really, really good. Again, the only exception is against Ryzel, which if you don't, maybe you side this instead if you're trying to beat Ryzel. But I like this a lot. I versed a lot of Maliss in my locals, so this kind of makes sense for it to put in the main deck just because it does do a lot in the mirror match. Infinite Impermanence, I think, is just the best hand trap in the format. I think it's just the best hand trap in general. I think you do have to play this. Not a bad 6-card draw, so being able to imperm like a Detonator is really insane. I'm playing 1 talent. I would play 2 if I had the room for 2, but maybe I cut like the 3rd side night mining, put in the 2nd talents if I really want to. But I think talents is insane this format. Just because there's a lot of hand traps flying around. So I think Talents is really, really good. And Droplet, this is really interesting because you think this deck would be playing like Shifter or something like that. But we'll talk about Shifter once we get to the side deck. But I think Droplet is really, really good this format. Being able to Droplet a Detonator and like a Desiree on field is really, really good. Being able to board break and stuff like that. Even against the mirror match, being able to like Droplet like the White Binder when it comes back, being able to stop interruptions and stuff like that is really, really, really good. So I really do like Droplet. I honestly do not want to cut it. I honestly like this hand trap lineup a lot, so I wouldn't really change anything about it. So that is it for the main deck. I've been talking a lot. Again, like I said, this is kind of a discussion video, so that's to be expected. Now let's get into the extra deck, shall we? So we'll start off with Link 1s, then go Links 2s, and then Link 3s, and then Link 4s that we're playing. So starting off with the Link 1s, we are playing 1 Kagari, 1 Lingribo, 1 Link Decoder, and a Link Spider. This is my Link 1 lineup. So Kagari is obviously just for the Sky Striker stuff. If you aren't playing the Sky Striker stuff, you don't have to play the Kagari. So this is a cut if you don't play the Sky Striker stuff. I think Lingribo is fucking insane, by the way. This is honestly one of the best Link 1s we have in the deck. In the mirror match, it just checks so much. This is a really, really, really good card. I've won a lot of mirror matches just because I made a Lingribo and just kept it on field to check their traps, which is really insane to think about. Link Decoder is just a free extender because all the Maliss Link monsters are 2300 attack, so using this to make a Maliss Link monster is insane, so it's just a free body. And Link Spider is another negotiable card that you can cut. I'm playing this just because it's good for the Sky Striker like token to turn into a Cyber sometimes, and obviously for the Nib token if you end up getting nibbed as well. But this is a negotiable cut if you want to. If you don't play the Sky Striker stuff, I don't think you necessarily need to play Link Spider. But since I am playing the Striker stuff, I think Link Spider is mandatory just to make sure you turn on your like Widow Anchors. If like the last thing, like if you have nothing else to do, Sorry, my bad. If you have nothing else to do, you can go just make a link spider after you get nib, and at least the Widow Anchor is still turned online, right? So these are the link ones I'm playing. Again, the negotiable cuts are Kagari and Link Spider if you're not playing the Sky Striker stuff. But I think, obviously, these two are the mandatories that you do have to play. So that is it for the link ones. Now on to the link twos that we're playing. We are playing the Haggard Lizardos, the Splash Mage, and the SP Little Knight. These are the only link twos I'm playing, which is a little weird. You might see some people play like an IP in the spot as well. I'll explain in 1 second why I'm not playing IP. But Haggard Lizard obviously is insane because it banishes a monster from your graveyard for cost to change like an attack or something, but you don't really care about that effect. You just want to banish the Maliss monsters out of your graveyard so you can trigger their effects and special themselves. The fact that it does banish for cost makes it where it can play around certain hand traps like Imperm and Invader and stuff like that as well. Splash Mage is good, like it's in here because it's just a free extender, but it's not the greatest because it does lock you into Cybers, which sucks, and also plays into hand traps like Veiler, Imperm as well. And SP Little Knight not only is an extender for the deck, you can go make SP if you used it with an extra deck monster, banish a Maliss guy from your graveyard, special it back, and then you have a way to a link 3 as well. So it's technically an extender, but it's also just an interruption as well if you really want to as well. But IP Masquerade is not in here just because most of the time I've been playing this deck and like testing with this deck, I've never made IP once in this deck. Like that's the most surprising thing to think about. I just don't make IP. IP is not one of the things I made for this deck. Other link twos you could be playing is like the crystal one to like the G Golem Crystal Heart, I think is what it's called, to make like a Heat Soul, but I'm not playing that line. If you really want to do that, you could, but I'm just not playing that line. But you could do that in this deck as well. Now for, I just dropped a card. Let me pick that up real quick. Now onto the link threes that we're playing is obviously just the Maliss link threes that we're playing. So one White Winder, one Heart Cryptor, and one Red Ransom. I'm not playing Transcode. I think Transcode is very, very much cope in this deck. I don't think you need to be playing Transcode in this deck whatsoever. But Red Ransom is obviously a part of the turn 1 combo where you can search the field spell, and then when it's banished, you can special itself back and then banish the Cybers monster. Just gets you an extra body to help you link climb. White Binder is a really, really good card. It's on special summon, can banish 3 cards from either graveyard, which helps you not only extend, but also interrupt as well. And then its main phase can set a trap card that will help you interrupt during your opponent's turn as well. I honestly was playing 2 of this at one point because honestly it's not that bad to play 2 of this because being able to just have the second one in rotation if you don't have anything else to do, you're okay, I'm going to go to the second White Binder and then banish guys and just make sure I can keep playing my guy is really cool. And then the Heart Cryptor is also in here just more just as an interruption. It can also OTK when it comes back from the banish area. It gains doubles its attack, so it becomes 25 or 5k, sorry, which helps you OTK, but it's also just there for the interruption. You can shuffle back a Maliss banish card to, and then banish a card on the field, which is really, really, really cool. So these are the Maliss Link monsters that I think you do need to be playing. I was playing 2 White Binder at one point, but I'm no longer playing 2 White Binder. Now on to the Link 4s that I'm playing. I'm actually playing 3 of them as well. So I'm playing Access Code, I'm playing Firewall, and I'm playing Nightmare Gryphon. So Access Code obviously just makes sense because this is a link deck. Being able to banish your Maliss monsters off of Access Code is insane as well. I don't understand. Some people are cutting this card, and I just don't understand it. I think this card is really, really good. Do not cut this card. The one card I do want to cut, though, is Firewall. Honestly, this card is not the greatest in the world. I just don't like it. I honestly don't like Firewall that much. Maybe I'm just playing the deck a little bit wrong. Maybe I'm doing the turn 1s wrong or something like that. I just do not like playing Firewall. Like I do make it on my opponent's turn, and it's like, it's okay. It's like a bounce, but I'd much rather just make the Heart Cryptor on my opponent's turn instead. But it's in here. I think it should be in here, but it's one of those negotiable cards I think you can cut depending on how you play the deck, because I'm just playing the deck where I'm not focusing on getting to Firewall straight away. I'm just trying to do other combos. And maybe that's the reason why Firewall's been bad, just because I'm not focusing on trying to make Firewall Dragon. But in the mirror match is kind of insane, so I do not want to cut it. Because once they make a White Binder, they have a zone that you can point to and you can negotiate. Or like make your board where you can make this a bounce 2 instead, which is really, really cool. And then Nightmare Gryphon, this is here because this deck can somehow make Nightmare Gryphon. You'll see in the combos that I'm about to do. Now, I don't do this combo all the time. I only do this combo if I can play around Nip. Now, if you don't know, and I forgot to say this at the beginning, I'm playing around Nib as much as possible. So, like, I'm never going to disrespect Nib. So maybe that's the reason why maybe I don't, like, respect, like, Firewall that much. Or, like, there's some combos that I do, which is weird, is because I'm respecting Nibiru the entire time. So I only do the Nightmare Gryphon play where I can play around Nibiru, which you still can do, and you'll see once we get to the combo, which is really cool. But, again, once you make this shit's fucking insane. If they can't out it, you pretty much win the game. So, really, really good. And then the last two cards we're playing for the extra deck is Terahertz and the Cyber Deceiver. I'm just gonna call it that. Obviously, you can make this turn 1, being able to summon this, send this, make it a spell trap negate as well. And this also can send the Coda Soul to graveyard to make it where you can link someone during your opponent's turn as well. Really, really good card in the deck as well. Just really insane card that I would not cut. Like, again, I'm playing the Gryphon stuff, which, like, maybe you probably, if I'm playing Gryphon, should focus on Gryphon. But again, like I said, I'm playing around Nibiru a lot of the time. And a lot of time with Nibiru, trying to play around Nibiru combo, I'm making this instead. Also turns on something like if you have multiple Widow Winkers and stuff like that as well. Really, really good card. I'm not playing more targets. Ooh, my bad. I did that again. I'm not playing more targets just because, like, something like people are playing like Packbit and the Aggregator that you can dump off this as well. I'm not doing that. I don't think that's really necessary. I think you just need the 2 targets like Coda Soul and this, and that's pretty much it. You can still win the game pretty much after that. So that is it for the extra deck. Oh my god, I'm at 20 minutes recording. But like I said, this is more of a discussion video and stuff like that. Now on to the side deck. Let me quickly pull it out real quick. I left it in the deck box. So, non-negotiables in the side deck. I think you do need to be playing Lancia, unfortunately. This is for cross-out, once we get to cross-out. But also, it's really good in the mirror match. Somewhat good in the mirror match. Like, if you're going second, you obviously want to play the Lancia. But going first, you don't want a Lancia sometimes because a lot of your interruptions also banishes stuff. So, like, it's a weird scenario there. But I think Lancia is still very, very good. You do have to play. I am playing Shifter in the side deck here. So this is more just like if you end up versing a rogue matchup that just dies a Shifter, just side in the Shifter and it's an auto win card, right? But you don't want to main deck this card because the top 2 decks don't necessarily care about this card. Like, Rigel somewhat cares about it, but they can still pretty much do their plays under Shifter. And obviously in the Maliss Mirror match, you never want to activate Shifter in the Maliss Mirror match. So, like, yeah, so I think this makes sense to put in the side when you verse like rogue matchups. They're like, okay, I just win the game if I just draw it against rogue. So that's the right reason why it's in there. Now for spell cards, we're playing 3 Crossout Designator because obviously Lancia is a goddamn problem. So you really just want to play the called by or the Crossout for that. Same thing with the called by. I'm siding it instead just because this is more specifically for Lancia. The reason why I'm not main decking called by is because there really isn't a hand trap game 1 that I care about. Like Ash, I can play around. Valor, I can play around. Don't necessarily care about that. Ghost Orc is a little rough, but I can still somewhat play. So I don't necessarily want to main deck this because the only card that I care about in game 1s are Nibiru. So, and called by obviously can't stop Nibiru. So this is only getting sided just because game 2s, game 3s, people are putting in Lancias, and this is where I want this to stop the Lancia, and that's pretty much why it's in the side deck. 2 Triple Tactic Thrust as well. This is if you don't draw this, at least you draw the backup here. With Triple Tactic Thrust, this lets you just set a card, which the targets are 3D Barrier. For right now, I'm playing 3D Barrier because obviously this is insane against the Rizal. I've been thinking about maybe going 2D Barrier and then playing like a Sanctum in the side deck just for Lancia reasons, for the mirror match and stuff like that. And that's like pretty much it. That's like, I think the only targets you have to do is play 2D Barrier, 1 Sanctum, and that's pretty much it. I just haven't changed the side deck in a little bit because this is like, again, I was sick over the weekend, so I haven't really been touching Yu-Gi-Oh! Just kind of recovering and stuff like that. So that is it for the side deck. So now, with all the deck out of the way, let's get into the combo, shall we? Alrighty, now on to the combo portion of the video here. So this is just going to be, the first combo we're going to do is just a 1-card Dormouse combo that goes full combo. It's really insane what this can do with just 1 card. So, go to main phase, we'll just normal summon Dormouse. Dormouse effect, banishing the White Rabbit. White Rabbit effect, special itself to the field, paying 300 life points, and then going effective White Rabbit to set TB11 from the deck here. I think this is the important one, so always set this one first. And then we go Link 2 into the Haggard Lizardos. Haggard Lizardos effect, banishing the Dormouse, and then Dormouse effect, paying 300 to special itself to the field here. And then we'll just go into a link 3 here, go into a red ransom effect paying on, or not paying, sorry, just searching for the Maliss in the underground. And now effectively you have played around Nibiru because red ransom was your 5th summon, and now you can pretty much play around Nibiru the entire time now. So now we can go TB11 here, special summon out the cheesy cat, and then go red ransom effect paying 900 to special itself to the field here, and then banish obviously as well. We'll banish the Dotscaper, then Dotscaper effect to special itself to the field here. Now if they end up Nibiruing here, that's perfectly fine. You get the token, you go just Maliss in the underground, banishing the Chessie cat, special back the Chessie cat, and then make the token into a link spider, make a splash mage, and then splash mage bring back a Cyberus, then link into a white binder, and you're still pretty much chilling, right? So that's if they nib you here, but if they don't, you just link into a link decoder here, then go link 3 here to go into white binder. We go white binder effect, chain link 1, targeting the Chessie cat and TB11 here, and then chain link 2 here, targeting, or chain link 2 link decoder to special itself back to the field here. And then Chessie cat effect will trigger here, paying 300 just to special itself back to the field here. And then we'll go white binder effect to set a trap here. Now if they would Nibiru you before you activate the trap, you're still chilling because you can just go Maliss in the underground, banish the white binder, bring back white binder, and then still set the trap anyway. So you're pretty much still playing around Nibiru the entire time. So you set the trap here, and then now you don't necessarily have to make firewall here. I make firewalls because you can technically get more off of it. If you want to just make a Terahertz, you could off of just those 3 cards. You could, but I make a firewall here because there's technically more you can do now. Because now you go firewall, go Maliss in the underground, banishing the white binder effect to special itself to the field. To the firewall zone here, and then you want to draw a card off a white binder as well. We just draw mining. We go firewall effect, adding Dormouse back from the graveyard back to your hand. Then go cheesy cat, banishing the Dormouse to draw 2 more cards. That's the reason why I'm showing you this, because you get technical 3 draws off of this, which is insane. But you don't necessarily have to do this if you don't want to. And then you just link into Terahertz. Now, because the white binder is a link 3 and you can just use the others as link 1, then you just go to end phase here. You don't want to trigger Terahertz effect in main phase, because if they end up Nibiruing you at this point, you go Terahertz effect send Codasol. But if you get to the end phase, now you can just go Terahertz dumping the Cyberus the save worm here, and then you just pass on that, which doesn't sound like a lot, but you got a +3 here. You got draw 3 cards off of just 1 card, and you have plenty of interruption. So in the draw phase, I activate the Terahertz here to dump off Codasol. This is just to play around something like Talents, because I don't have any other target for Terahertz anyways. We go to main phase. Now if they play, now you can just go, okay, we'll go TC 06, bring back white binder. White binder effect, we can just banish the red ransom, white rabbit. Now, if they have a graveyard, you don't even have to necessarily banish the white rabbit. You can just banish 2 of their monsters in the graveyard, which is insane. But we're just going to banish the white rabbit anyways, because we can go white rabbit, chain link 1, red ransom, chain link 2 here. Special both out to the field here, playing 1200 here. Special both out. And now, if you didn't banish the white rabbit off of the white off the white binder, you can just go red ransom, banishing the white rabbit here. But we decided that's fine. We go white rabbit effect to set the MTB07. I didn't banishing anything off of red ransom because there was really no point to do so. So I said that, and then we go, still have a spell trap negate in this just serve worm because of Terahertz here. And then we have MTB07 to search our follow-up in Dormouse, and we banish a card on their field because we have the red ransom on the field. White binder paying 900 will bring itself back to the field here. And then we still have the Codasol in graveyard to link off our thing. Now, if you have Firewall, we can make a Firewall Dragon here. But since we already used the Firewall, we can't do that. So we just make ourselves a Heart Cryptor here. Now, you can link off the Terahertz if you want to. It doesn't necessarily matter on what you would link to. If you want to keep like the white binder like here and make it where this guy can't be negated, it's cool. But you don't necessarily have to. Now you have the Heart Cryptor to shuffle back Dormouse to banish a card on field. So off of just that, you have a free draw 3 cards. You have a spell trap negate. You have a white binder to banish a card if you need to. You have a banish off the trap. You have a banish off Heart Cryptor as well. So you pretty much have like 4 to 5 interruptions just off of 1 card, which is very, very insane. Now let's get into the next combo. Alrighty, now on to the Nightmare Gryphon Combo. So this is the Gryphon Combo that plays around Nibiru, the Primal Being. So really, really good stuff that we can do with this. So with this combo, all you really need is Dormouse plus any extender. Codasol technically does it. Parallel Xe would do it. Any Bestial does it. Hornet Drone even does it as well. You just need an extender. The only extender that technically doesn't do it is Sigma, because Sigma locks you into Cyberus, and that's pretty much The only reason why that one doesn't do it. So let's get into the combo, shall we? So again, we'll just normal summon Dormouse as a typical combo that you just saw. Banish White Rabbit effect to special itself to the field, and then effect on summon to set a TB11 here. Now, if you really wanted to get greedy, you can go TB11 here, banishing Dormouse special Chessy Cat, and then Dormouse effect specialing itself to the field, link into a link decoder, and then go into a red ransom. That would also get you into the Gryphon combo, but the problem with that one is it plays into Nib. The link coder summon would be the 5th summon and it dies straight to Nib right there. So that's the reason why I don't like that. But with this one, you just need an extender. You just link off the White Rabbit here, go into a link decoder, and then Kodoso, since you control a link monster, to special itself to the field. And the 5th summon will now be Red Ransom here. Now you're effectively playing around Nibiru. You go Red Ransom, Chainlink 1, Link Decoder, Chainlink 2, special itself to the field, since Red Ransom is a 23 for some reason. Red Ransom to search for Maliss in the underground. You're playing around Nibiru now. Now we just link into a Haggard Lizard. Link Decoder gets banished by its own effect. I think I forgot to do that in the last combo, but that's fine. Haggard Lizard effect, banishing the Dormouse here. Dormouse effect to special itself back to the field, paying 300. And then linking into a White Binder here. And then we go White Binder effect, not to banish. We don't use the banish effect on summon just yet. Do not use that effect here. We'll just use the main phase effect to set the GC06. Now you're really playing around Nibiru, because now even if they Nibiru you, you have your trap to at least interrupt them on their turn as well here. So now we'll go TB11, banishing the White Binder, special out Cheesy Cat. White Binder effect paying 900 life points here to special itself, and then draw a card as well. We draw into Widow Anchor. Doesn't really do anything with this combo because we're going to be ending on things in the monster zone, unfortunately. Then we go White Binder effect, banishing the Red Ransom and the Dormouse, just because we need a Maliss in the banished area for Heart Cryptor technically. Then we go Red Ransom effect, banishing or paying 900, specialing itself out, and then banishing the Dotscaper from the deck here. Then Dotscaper effect special itself to the field here. And then we'll just link into our SP level here with no effect. We don't necessarily need to do the effect here. Link Cheesy Cat and White Binder into a Nightmare Gryphon. We weren't locked at any time. Now we can go Nightmare Gryphon effect, ditching the Widow Anchor to set TB11 here, and we get to draw a card since it was co-linked. We draw into Magno. Fucking insane draw. We go Maliss in the underground here, banishing the Chessy Cat. We go Chessy Cat effect, paying 300 life points to special itself to the field. Now, if you have any Maliss cards, you can now go effect to banish and then draw cards if you really need to. But again, this is just a 2-card combo, so you don't necessarily need to do that here. So we'll just link into a Lingaribo. Now, I don't think it really matters on which zone, as long as it's pointing to something. As long as it's linked, it's fine. So the extra monster zone or this monster zone here works as long as it's something is pointing to it, or it's pointing to something. You're perfectly fine, right? And that's pretty much the end phase right there. So this plays around so much. Lingaribo makes it where if they top deck like an Imperm, you can just negate it, which is really, really good. Gryphon is just an asshole. They can't activate special summon monsters, and there's no zones pointing to anything to them, so which is very, very insane. You still have an SP Little Knight interruption as well, and technically you still have the GC06 to do your typical special back White Binder, do interruptions with stuff like that, like banishing the graveyard. You still have the Kodosoul, which I think is the reason why this is the best extender, because you still have the Kodosoul to at least still somewhat play on their turn as well. It's a really, really good combo, and it was only off of 2 cards, so technically you should still have 3 more cards in your hand as well, which is very, very insane. So that is it for the Gryphon combo. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, leave a like and subscribe for more content on the channel, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.